Hey blog pausers, this is Yvonne DiVita, and I have two extremely important guests with me today, and they will tell you how important they are if I don't. So the reality is, it's Bill Schroeder and Steve Dale, and they are coming to BlogPaws to do an amazing session and teach you some important things about SEO. So let's learn a little bit about Steve and Bill first. Bill, tell us a little bit about you and what you do when you're not teaching bloggers.
Well, hello, my name is Bill Schroeder, as Yvonne said. I've worked for the last 21 years within the veterinary space, helping to teach primarily veterinarians and practice managers how to leverage the opportunity that is digital marketing. Blogging obviously falls within that space. My focus tends to be search engine optimization, and I'm thrilled to be back at BlogPaws. I don't know how many times I've been there, probably a handful of times.
Yeah, 2 or 3. This might be your 4th, or
it might be. But I love it. It's a neat experience every time I go. Always something different. The unexpected is there, and we'll get more into what Steve and I are going to talk about. But I don't want to crowd the space for the ever popular, ever famous, world-renowned Steve Dale.
Absolutely. There you go, Steve. You can't beat that for an introduction.
No, I can't. You know, I'll tell you why I'm speaking in this session. It's because I'm cheap, and if I don't want to pay for the session, I figured if I'm speaking with Bill, that way I get to hear Bill talk, and I don't have to pay for it. You know, he is the guru of sort of the back end of blogs and how to make that blog bigger and better. No one else speaks as well about it, in my opinion, as Bill does. So I'm honored to be on the bill with Bill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that's true. So for those I'm a certified animal behavior consultant. I've been writing blogs for a very long time. So I wrote a national newspaper column, you know, old school. And when blogs came around, for which reason, I embraced the idea. And I'm grateful that I did, because blogs are a way to communicate with people. And there is no other way quite like it. It's very personal. It extends into the reader's telephone now, right? So they just lift it up from their pocket, and there you are in their pocket, and as well as in their homes. It's a very special relationship that bloggers can have. But how do you get to that point of relationship? In part, that's what I will be talking about. So yes, I am a blogger. I host several radio shows, a national radio show, a radio show on WGN in Chicago locally. I'm on a variety of different television shows as well, and as I have been over the years. And my passion is communicating information, helpful, appropriate information about pets, and the goal is to help all of you to do that.
So where did you two meet?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you where we met. I could tell you, and Steve doesn't remember this because I was just a guy that really admired him back in the day. And this has got to be, I don't know.
70 years ago.
Oh, it's longer than that. It's got to be over 10. I was flying to NAVC, and I really didn't have much footing in the veterinary space, maybe 12 years ago or whatnot. And I felt like, you know, like this little guy on this big pond. And I'm sitting on an airplane getting ready to fly to NAVC, and who sits down next to me but Steve Dale? And I thought, oh my gosh, you know. Hey, so I turned to him and I said, so, you know, heading to NAVC, and, you know, Steve, you know, was very polite with me, but the conversation didn't go much deeper than that. And you know, I'm like, well, maybe next time I can get the time with Steve Dale. So over the years, we've ran into each other, and, you know, we've become good friends. And, you know, in that really, when you come to see us speak, this is the first time that we're going to share a stage. And when you come to see us speak, I think attendees will feel that we're friends, and that we both have the common goal of helping pets in mind, and that our personalities are very complementary to one another, and that we're going to learn some stuff in the class, and we're going to have some fun. I promise you some laughs, and I promise you that you'll have the ability to take away some things that you can do to help your blog be more successful.
Fascinating. So, Steve, what does that mean? Make your blog be more successful. You have a lot of successful blogs. Do you use SEO?
Yes, of course I do. And I've learned from people like Bill, and he's at the top of the list. The question that I get most often is, how do I come up with ideas? And for me, it's all about content. So how do you come up with ideas? And what happens is sometimes the pressure to come up with those ideas creates what's called, quote unquote, writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get over that? But it's actually the most often asked question I get is, where do you come up with these ideas, and what if you don't feel like writing today or tomorrow or the next day? I know I've got this blog, but then it kind of fizzles away, and then I get back to it and it kind of fizzles away. How do I keep it consistent? Now, what does consistent mean anyway? I mean, do you blog every day? Do you blog once a week? And how do you find your voice? You know, I mean, everyone in the room is passionate about pets. That's a given. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at BlogPaws.
Right.
But how do you articulate that heart into sort of the computer screen, or what used to be paper and pen? I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, and then how do you do it successfully, Bill? So you get the content. Some of us could, like, you know, spill out content on a daily basis, but how is it going to be effective?
Well, I guess success depends upon the person that is blogging. And more often than not, you know, people put a whole bunch of effort into writing their blog. And like Steve said, you overcome writer's block, and, you know, you create this beautiful piece, right? And the realization is, it comes for some that it's less than successful because no one's reading it.
Yeah.
No one's reading it because they can't find it. And, you know, the saddest of situations are situations where people come to me and they say, hey, look, I've got this blog on X, Y, or Z, and I'd really like to know how to monetize it. So you take a look at how many people are actually reading the blog, and you say, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but it can't be found. No one's reading this. And it's really unrealistic to think that someone's going to pay you for advertising or pay you to blog on behalf of their products or whatever, you know, because you don't have a readership. So what we'll go through is we'll talk about some best practices, how to get through some creating great content, overcoming writer's block, and then we'll talk about how we can highlight this and put it in front of as many people as possible, how to reach your target market, how to develop a really good keyword list, how to avoid some of the pitfalls within SEO, and then dispel some of the misconceptions that might be out there. Like, so the biggest one and the greatest thing is that you ask Steve a question like, do you use SEO? And of course he does, but he does so naturally. There aren't any smoke and mirrors that go into Steve's project, because he creates some really beautiful content on a very regular basis. And that's really half the game. So I'm really looking for
yeah, and that's really amazing. Steve, the thing that you said that really appeals to me and strikes me is how to find a voice. Because when you find your voice, then you also have to know how to create the content that Bill is describing that people will read. We have at BlogPaws, people ask us things like, I write every day, but nobody still can find me. I want to do programs with BlogPaws, but I never get chosen. Well, the reality is exactly what Bill said. You don't have a readership, and your content may be wonderful, but let us teach you how to make the content work for you. And a lot of that involves the voice of the blog. So we don't have a lot of time to get into it. I'm going to let the bloggers who are coming and attending, and it is a paid session. It is limited seating. You will have Steve and Bill at your beck and call for those 3.5 hours, and I hope to pop in. I could learn a lot. You guys could teach me a lot. I have a blog and hardly anybody reads it, and you'd think
that's not true.
You'd think the whole world would read and we're not talking about BlogPaws. We're talking about my little blog. It does not get any traffic, and I know why. I mean, I'm not as committed to it as I used to be because, hey, I don't know, I have other things to do. But in the end, I do need to increase and improve my knowledge of how to do the voice, the content, and the SEO because I've lost track. I've been too busy with other things. So anyway, because we're on a short leash here, I'm going to ask each of you what your pet project is so you can share that with everybody. Steve, you go first. What is your pet project today?
Well, I also want to say that we'll talk about promoting the blog and how you go about doing that. Using traditional media, which is where my background originally is. So I've done and have been paid many times to do media training. So we'll do that kind of a 101 version of that. And other ways, sort of outside the box, that you can promote the blog and help animals at the same time. So to answer your question, I'm working on a national initiative. It's a One Health initiative regarding Lyme disease. People get Lyme, our dogs get Lyme. This is something I feel passionately about. I might have a little bit of an opportunity to talk about it at BlogPaws, but if we can do a pretty good job, veterinarians do a pretty good job of diagnosing tick disease, including Lyme, others as well, in our dogs. But someone was on the other end of that leash. And if your dog has been diagnosed, you've been in the same environment. You cannot get tick disease from your dogs, but you've been in that same environment. And in fact, data is now beginning to slowly show exactly that. You know, if that goes both ways. I mean, if you're diagnosed first, typically happens the other way around, where dogs are diagnosed first. But if you are and you happen to have a dog, then see your veterinarian and get your dog checked for sure. If your dog is diagnosed, consider seeing your doctor. StopLyme.com is the website. You can also learn more about it on my website, stevedale.tv.
Excellent, excellent. So, Bill, do you have a pet project?
Well, my pet project is a little more technical. I spend my time helping veterinarians reach people who have pets in need. So my project that is consuming my days and nights is a new communication system. We call it Go. Go is a automated reminder and media broadcast system that allows veterinarians to reach their clients, provide automated reminders to them, and a real efficient communication channel between themselves and the pet owner. We are starting to expand the reach of this to rescues and shelters. It's going a little bit slower than we had anticipated, but by the time that we speak in Arizona, maybe that will be a little more formal. But so that's my focus, and that's what we're doing. I really hope that as you're listening to this, as you're planning out your schedule when you're at BlogPaws, you know, that you'll consider coming to our session. I just want to let you know, if you're looking for the type of presentation where two guys are going to get up there and read some slides to you and, you know, be humdrum, don't waste your money, because you're not going to find that with us. But if you're looking to have some fun and you're looking for some real interaction where you can bring some real life scenarios to the table and ask us whatever you want to ask us and have us, you know, run it through the grinder and come up with some results at the end, come and see us. And I guarantee you're going to have a really good time. And I look forward to meeting you in, I guess it's 5 weeks or something like that?
4. Oh my God.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, listen, you guys. We can do this all day because you two are some of the smartest people I know, and you're doing some fascinating
Oh, wow, that's
work.
You need to meet more people.
Well, you know, I don't get out much. What can I tell you? So, anyways, I will see you both at BlogPaws, and it will be a fantastic learning, teaching, and enjoyable little bit of laughs session. See you then.
Okay, we'll see you. Thank you very much for the opportunity.